What's good, fam? Drake is doing everything he can to distract everyone from the fact that Kendrick Lamar took his pride on a global stage, and watching this desperate pivot is starting to feel painful. Instead of returning to the studio to prove he can still rap, he is playing with ice and furniture like he is auditioning for a role in a Disney movie. We are watching a midlife crisis happen in real time. The West Coast continues to celebrate the greatest win in the history of hip-hop, while this ICEMAN album Rollout smells like pure desperation. Fans are finally seeing through the theater because the magic has officially left the building. On April 12th of 2026, Drake chose to freeze his courtside seats at the Toronto Raptors game, and the only thing colder than those chairs is his current standing in the culture. People are calling this rollout a massive way to cope with his fading dominance, and it is obvious that when you cannot win with lyrics, you start relying on props. Kendrick is busy stacking up trophies and legacy points while Drake is essentially just decorating his living room in public. He hopes we do not notice that the bars are completely missing. This is exactly what happens when you lose your spot at the top and have to invent a brand new personality just to stay in the conversation you used to lead. He is attempting to distract the world from how Kendrick turned him into a punchline, but these expensive stunts are only making the defeat look more costly. Every time he tries to switch his aesthetic, it feels like he is running away from the ghosts of Not Like Us that are still following him everywhere. Nobody in the streets is asking for ice sculptures or a Winter Wonderland theme. They really just want him to stand on his own feet without a massive marketing team holding him up. This story is familiar because we have seen superstars lose their grip on the culture and start using shiny objects to keep the attention on them. The ICEMAN era was supposed to be his major comeback, but it is quickly turning into the most expensive apology tour the industry has ever witnessed. The situation unfolding at Scotiabank Arena turned into a complete train wreck for the entire OVO camp, and the optics could not have been any worse for Drake. When the Toronto Raptors faced off against the Brooklyn Nets on April 12, 2026, the basketball game should have been the main event. Every pair of eyes in the building ended up glued to those signature courtside seats instead, which were covered in fake ice and plastic icicles like a cheap mall display. This setup was supposed to build hype for his upcoming project, but he has clearly lost the plot. Drake did not even show up to sit in his own Frozen exhibit, which left those empty plastic chairs chilling there all night while actual fans tried to watch the basketball game. He acts like a ghost in his own city while demanding attention through a screen. Even though the official Raptors account on X shared a video of the seats to boost their local star, the internet rejected the move immediately. Fans flooded the comments to call the whole display corny theater that nobody asked for. Raptors players actually dominated that night with a victory of 136-101, but the box score was ignored by everyone. People only wanted to know why he was wasting money on physical props instead of releasing the music his fans have been exhausted waiting for since July of last year. Every attempt to create a moment just highlights his struggle to match the artistic standard Kendrick established recently. Real kings do not have to freeze their furniture to prove they are cold, because only a jester trying to get his crown back resorts to these stunts. Listeners are getting exhausted by the constant gimmicks and empty distractions, and they can see the fear hiding behind all that fake plastic ice. Commenters were asking why a grown man would spend his afternoon decorating a stadium chair while his rival continues to be the biggest star on earth. Optics are terrible because he looks like he is hiding instead of facing the music like a man. That frozen seat serves as a perfect metaphor for his current career, where everything is purely for show without any real substance to back it up. Icicles were fake, and the main attraction was missing while the world moved on. This was a desperate attempt to stay relevant in the headlines, but fake snow and social media posts would never buy back the respect he lost. Anyone walking past those empty seats saw a man who was terrified of being forgotten. Raptors players were busy putting in real work on the court, while their global ambassador was busy with the branding exercise that fell completely flat. Social media backlash was instantaneous as soon as those photos hit the internet feeds. Most people are just tired of the constant teasing and those cryptic messages that never lead to anything besides a fresh round of disappointment for the fans. Raptors post is a graveyard for his reputation because his own city is turning. One person pointed out that Kendrick is busy making major moves in Hollywood and doing record-breaking shows while Drake is just out here icing his chair. This contrast highlights the different levels these two are operating on right now. One of them is building a legacy that will stand forever, while the other is building temporary set pieces for a rollout that feels 10 years old. ICEMAN theme makes him look stuck in a freezer while the game moves on. You can feel the exhaustion from listeners who just want the music without all this high concept nonsense that feels like a cover for missing inspiration. You can see the desperation in his attempt to force a viral furniture moment. That is the kind of move you make when you are terrified that your actual art is no longer enough to keep the people talking about you. Kendrick never needed fake ice to make the world listen to his actual truth. Drake is doing the exact opposite by surrounding himself with elaborate lies and expensive distractions just to keep everyone from talking about his massive defeat. The Scotiabank Arena display was just the latest example of him trying to buy back the culture he lost. Scotiabank Arena was supposed to be a place of celebration for the Raptors, but it turned into a monument for a man terrified of the future. We are witnessing the end of the gimmick era, where massive budgets used to hide mediocre bars from the public. Fans are finally seeing through the shiny rapper and demanding something real for a change. If this Iceman project fails to reach legendary status, all these frozen seats and props will mark the day he lost his mind. Things get even more embarrassing when you check out the digital stunts he is using to force engagement. On April 16th of 2026, he partnered with developer Marcus Brown and Fan Arcade to release a game titled Release the Iceman. A confident artist would just give us a release date, but Drake is introducing something he calls a playtition instead. He is actually making his supporters play an 8-bit arcade game to reach a high score just to see the track list. This is a desperate attempt to manufacture hype because his organic buzz has completely bottomed out. People on Reddit and X are calling this a massive cope for a rollout that has been dragging since July of 2025. You know, the energy is flat when an artist has to hide basic info behind a video game after a year of teasing. Critics are pointing out that this move shows Drake is terrified of his first week numbers now that Kendrick wears the crown. He is gamifying his relevance because he knows the music alone cannot compete with the momentum Kendrick has built. When you make fans work this hard for a drop date, it suggests you are too scared to let the art stand on its own. It is a transparent strategy to inflate his interaction numbers through artificial methods that feel forced. We are watching a man who used to run every summer now begging for clicks through a retro game from 1985. It is genuinely sad to see a global superstar reduced to carnival games just to stay relevant. While Drake freezes furniture, Kendrick Lamar is operating on a level that the boy cannot even imagine. Industry analysts are reporting on a clear trend that Drake is losing his grip on the market as his sales continue to dip. His collaborative project with Party Next Door only opened with 248,000 units, which is a huge drop for a man who used to do 500,000 easily. These declining numbers are exactly why he is pulling these weird stunts, since the old tricks do not work on this new crowd. Contrast that with Kendrick, who just won Tour of the Year at the Pollstar Awards. Kendrick is out here sweeping Grammys and being crowned king of the culture, while Drake is stuck inducting Nelly Furtado and teasing a year-long album. The Iceman Rollout has produced 3 singles, including What Did I Miss in Doghouse featuring Yate, but none of them stopped the bleeding. These songs have failed to change the narrative that Kendrick won the beef and is now the definitive voice of the genre. Fans make the comparison every single day because the difference in their career paths is too loud to ignore. Kendrick is making massive moves in Hollywood and showing a cinematic power that represents the future of the industry. Then you look at Drake making 8-bit games and buying fake ice for a basketball game like he is stuck in the past. One man is moving like a mogul and a boss, while the other moves like an influencer running out of content ideas. It is a tragic fall for a man who used to lead the way, but now just reacts to the shadows Kendrick casts over him. Every stunt feels like a desperate attempt to reclaim the attention Kendrick took without even trying. The market is speaking loud and clear that they want substance over style, and right now Drake is giving us nothing but an empty freezer and a high-score screen. Before we look at how even the biggest Drake riders are getting exhausted by these games, tell me if y'all think the boy is officially washed for buying fake ice while Kendrick is running the league. Drop your thoughts in the comments and keep it a buck. While you at it, hit that like and subscribe to Stay Tapped In. Let's see why this hype machine is finally running out of gas. Even the people who ride for him the hardest are getting exhausted by these games because the hype machine is finally running out of gas after months of empty teasing. Academics has been out here trying to sell this whole Iceman rollout narrative since the end of 2025, but the public is simply done believing the stories he is telling. When he posted a typical hype message on April 15th of 2026, the comment section turned into a war zone filled with people who are tired of the constant delays. Nobody wants to hear that the album is coming soon for the 1000th time when they have heard it all before. These fans are demanding an actual release date or for him to just stay quiet until he has something real to give back to the culture. Trolls like Anthony Fantano are jumping in on the situation because everything has become way too easy to mock at this point in the game. Fantano was out here laughing on April 16th at the constant rumors about a midnight drop that never actually happens for the people who are still waiting. It is a deep problem for your reputation when the music critics and the entire internet are treating your rollout like a comedy special that a frozen seat cannot fix. Professional bettors are even losing faith in his ability to deliver a product on time right now. Markets like Kalshi are showing only a 57% chance that the album drops before June, which is a massive collapse for an artist who used to be the most reliable name in the industry. Evidence shows that the people putting their own money on these events do not trust his word or his team anymore. The reality is that Drake is losing for good because he is putting props and interactive games over the bars. He needs to actually answer Kendrick. Watching a man who used to be the most feared artist in the game turn into a professional entertainer who cares more about his marketing budget than his rhyme schemes is wild to see. That frozen seat stunt at the Scotiabank Arena is the perfect metaphor for his career right now because it is cold and empty and clearly just for show. He is trying to build an atmosphere of dominance through these high concept visuals, but he is forgetting that hip hop is built on substance and lyricism above everything else. If this upcoming Iceman album does not deliver massive numbers and a return to form, these stunts will go down as the most expensive and embarrassing cope in the history of the genre. Drake can build as many ice sculptures as he wants, but he cannot freeze the momentum Kendrick Lamar has built by simply being the better rapper. The current era of his career is starting to feel like the closing credits of a long movie where the hero has finally met his match and does not know how to walk away with any grace. He is trying to buy back his seat at the table with 8-bit games and fake icicles, but the culture has already decided who is sitting at the head of that table. Before we move on and see how he tries to salvage his reputation with the next desperate move, tell me what you all think about the Iceman rollout so far. I want to know if you think he is actually scared of Kendrick or if he is just completely out of the ideas he needs to stay at the top. Drop your thoughts down in the comments because I want to hear the truth. No cap. While you are down there, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more updates. Let us keep moving forward with the rest of the breakdown.